Hi, and welcome to our first special feature of the LP. If you've already read the video title, I'm doing a PvP video. Now, me and Tato are showing off co-op interaction. I, on my own, will show off PvP interaction. I'm going to be doing most of my invades as a little bit of a gimmick, mainly NPC characters, if I can figure one that fits the area. Here, we're going in as the old King Dorren, somebody we haven't met yet, but this is pretty much his setup. That armor you get from him, and I have the Northern Regalia, which is something he wields. We've discussed this before. It's a weapon that scales off of your character tendency. Now, the item we use right there is a Black Eye Stone. You'll get that in the game as soon as you kill either an invading phantom. Oh wait, no, that's not true. As soon as you kill your first NPC phantom, you'll get one of those. And this is generally what it's like once you actually get an invasion. You'll just be standing around somewhere and all of a sudden, BAM! Invading! Invading. Invasion failed. Oh, invading another world. I was a little confused by that message, that's why I left that part in. Generally, the loading doesn't take very long because you're just really going into the same world that you're already in. But I'll be editing this out in the future. I just left this in for some talking room. Now, your general good PvP protocol. I like to use second chance because I'm scared to baby. Personally, also, if there are enemies on the guy, I like to give him a chance to kill those enemies. This guy was obviously very cautious about what was going on, and he is on a higher new game, so, you know, no reason for him to have to deal with enemies and me at the same time. Healed myself up, used some Old Spice, and I went for a bow, as is the proper thing to do in PvP. However, this guy was going to have none of that, and I ended up getting stun locked, trying to get away, and he hits me with a running attack. Not a good first showing, but this is why you wait for your opponent to bow. You don't bow yourself. Never trust your opponent to be a nice person. Here we have a more proper situation. I immediately cast a second chance. I see the guy over there in the distance, and I prepare myself. Use another Old Spice to bring myself up to full mana. And I noticed the guy casted Warding. This is a spell that increases your defense a lot. Now, if I was using Warding, I wouldn't be bowing as this guy is, because Warding has a time limit. I realize that, and as a strategy, I take a bit to bow myself. And get rid of these arrows, so that my outfit is perfectly complete. And, you know, I actually try and play keep away with this guy. Don't go in for an attack, because I'm not going to do much damage anyway. I see an opportunity every now and then, and I go in. But I'm really waiting for the spell to wear off. And there's my chance. The spell is now gone, and I can wail on this guy to my heart's delight. I'm using the dodge roll attack in order to take little chips at him, and I'm waiting for him to make a bad move. Now here, he got a little greedy. Went in for a second attack, which put him on a kind of cooldown. And it appears he didn't know what second chance was, because he could have comboed me to death. He might have been out of stamina, I'm not really sure. But I know he didn't have second chance, so I took the kill. But that's all I could get in World 1, so let's move on to World 2. Here, I'm invading as another NPC we haven't seen yet, named Patches. Some of you may remember him. He is in this game too, as he also shows up in Dark Souls. My getup. Oh, no time to talk about the getup. I'm already getting my invasion. I literally just started recording and I got the invasion right away. Anyway, I have a shield equipped that gives me health regen. I have a spear, which Patches is favor to, and it's a sharp spear, which does pretty good damage with my dex scaling that I have on this guy. Also, I'm wearing the black leather set because that's what Patches wears. All my armor is just what the NPCs wear. Oh, and there's our person. Oh, and there's a phantom. Time to quickly use this and get... Ooh. They are not messing around at all. Now, a good thing to note is that the shield I'm using, the Adjudicator shield, does not really have 100% block. So I really want to play more keep away with this than a turtle. And I'm realizing that this little area I'm in right here is not very good. I'm getting hit somehow, but I'm not really taking any damage. So I decided to turn tail and run. Now something I didn't notice is, well... Whoa! Okay. I guess the internet wanted to catch up with me there. Of course, this is an online game and you will get lag. And I just majorly got hit with it. I was completely thrown off my game and didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what was going on. My mind was racing and I ended up dying. It also helps I'm not the best at PvP. I do it as a little side thing. I like the PvE a lot more. Well, I do like the PvP, but I mean, I spent an hour in World 1 and I got those 2 invades. Anyway, this guy, he's not in the starting area. So I take my time to cast Second Chance and I start moving in. He's already killed the rock throwers, so we're going to go a little bit more further in. He's killed some of the guys in here. But not... Oh, and there he is. But he hasn't killed all the guys. Now, me personally, I like fair fights. So I'll take out the enemies for him so that they don't interfere. Also note that in Demon Souls, excuse me, something's wrong with my voice. In Demon Souls, you can kill enemies. I don't think you can do that in Dark Souls. I bow to him, and I'm going to cast a spell called Curse Weapon on my weapon. Now what Curse Weapon does is it increases the damage you deal by a lot, but you lose health over time. Because I don't have the magic to actually use my implement, I don't lose a lot of health at all. It's a weird thing. I don't lose any of the benefits, but I guess the downside is I can't really cast normal spells. Anyway, we're going to play a little keep away, and I'm going to try and use the quickness of my spear in order to outdamage him. However, in this light leather armor, I take a lot more damage than I did in the King's armor. Ooh, and he actually hit me with a push. I didn't realize that initially. And here's where it starts to go downhill for me. He was using Second Chance, and he's also, you know, he wants to win, so he's healing. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm not in the mind to heal, even though I have much better healing items than him. And right there, I backed off and gave him a chance to heal, and I am down. Actually, funny story, this guy sent me a message later asking if I wanted to help him through 2-1. I had notifications off, so I didn't even see it. Moving on to World 3, because that's all the invasions I got there. Here we're dressed up as a man named Rydell. He uses the phosphorus pole, which we see Tauta use a lot, and I have an iron fist in my left hand. Phosphorus pole is an interesting weapon, and, you know, I was looking forward to invading with it. I've never really used pole weapons, so this should be some pretty good invades. Oh, I left too much time in here. Unfortunately, something to come about from this. I didn't get any invades. A little upsetting. The phosphorus pole is definitely a unique weapon, and I really wanted to try it out in PvP. They're getting pissed off and hitting the R2. Anyway, moving on to World 4. Here I'm dressed up as the Samurai Sasaki. Anyway, he's the katana wielder. I have a sharp uchi katana in my right hand and hiltless in my left hand for parrying. I also have Makoto for bleed damage. It's an interesting setup, and this character is built for Dex, so should be some good invasions, some good PvP. However, I didn't get any invasions at all. It's very unfortunate, they're just... I'm running around at soul level 100 trying to get people going through on New Game Plus. But it's just, I'm not getting anybody. I even went to other worlds with this setup just to see if I can get some PvP with this. And I just wasn't getting a person. It's very upsetting. So here in World 5, I've actually made my own personal setup because there's not that many NPCs for World 5. I'm wearing the Mirrodin armor, which is the Temple Knight starting set. I have a steel shield for being a little tanky. And I have blind on me, which if you recall from the OP is the sword that hits through shields. It's kind of a tanky setup that allows me to counter their tankiness. Unfortunately, I didn't get any invades. Kind of a disappointment for a PvP video. Once again, at this point I was getting frustrated and I went to other worlds and what have you. Still didn't get anything. However, do not despair. Because when I was doing a test run of World 2, I got invaded. And this is actually a pretty good fight. So, one thing to note. Although I will, from time to time, invade people and, I try and be fair about it. I know I'm being fair, and I really have nothing to lose. However, when I get invaded, I get very frantic. Because I don't want to lose all the progress I just did, and I know I'm not that good at PvP. I'm actually trying to run ahead here because I know it works for bosses, but I don't know about fog doors. If you go through a boss door, it'll actually get rid of the phantom, and you can see him running down there. He's got some sort of regeneration on him. You can tell what they have by the auras. So I try to go through this fog door to see if it'll get rid of the phantom. No chance. So I say to myself, I don't want to fight him in that room. I want to fight him in a kind of open arena, so I have a lot of dodging room. I have set myself up to have quick dodges and heavy armor. So, whoop, there he is. Everybody's favorite low-level ganking weapon, the Scraping Spear. We discussed this in the OP, but the Scraping Spear is a spear made from the Phalanx Soul. And what it does is it deals durability damage to your armor, even when you block it. The main reason why it's meant for low-level ganks is to, hey, if I get beat, I still took away their durability. And I'm trying to be very trying to lure him out, trying to get him to do something wrong. I'm trying to roll behind him, but I'm messing up my controls. I pull out my crossbow. Nah, that's not going to do anything. And once again, I'm against healing when I invade, but as a defensive, I don't like losing. So here I forget this isn't Dark Souls and there's no plunging attack. And I go in, my attack just isn't strong enough to hit through that shield. I can hit him, you can actually hit people around their shield, but I can't do enough damage with that. It's only 44, and the shield gives him regeneration. So I go in for a backstab, I fuck up, because if you have your shield up and you try and backstab, you won't backstab. I could have gotten a really good backstab right there. And then I remembered something from when I was cycling through my items. So I'm trying to lure him away. He chases me up here. I jump down, and I enchant my sword. Oh, now you're in for it, sir. And I think he's going through his items. He thinks he's got me beat kind of thing. Because in a little bit you're going to see something weird. He's running away still, and he doesn't have his guard up. And he switches to the spiked shield. Now, the spiked shield is not as good of a shield as the Adjudicator shield. And it has no magic resist. Sticky white stuff gives you magic damage to your weapon. So I figure, oh, I can just blow right through him. And lo and behold, I defeat the Black Phantom. I always feel pretty good when I win PvP because, again, I'm not really that great at it. I put some grass on my toolbar because I'm like, man, I should have had some better healing items ready for that. And I put that sticky white stuff back on my bar because that just saved my life. However, you may be asking, saying, that was a good fight, newbie. You did a good job and you used your resources that you had on you right away. And that is the key to winning. However, who really won in the end? That is the question. And I say, he did. Look at that repair cost. So this has been the first part of our Versus series. I hope to bring you some better PvP later on.